Hello, my name is Altarn, and welcome to another Let's Play of Galactic Civilizations 2, Twilight of the Arnor. Now, my first ever LP, was this game, and ever since I've wanted to do another, and I feel the time's come to actually do that. So, here we go. For those of you unfamiliar with this game, and 4X in general, pretty much a civilization type game where you build a galactic civilization, go figure. Just stick around and I'll touch up on some things, but for the most part I've noticed that people who watch my first LP were familiar with this game and were just interested in how other people played it. But that shouldn't dissuade you from watching this, really. So let's go. I'm gonna set up pretty much the same way I did it last time. A large galaxy with a good amount of planets scattered throughout the whole galaxy a bit evenly with this setup. Now, that allows me to put in a lot of CPU players, which makes for a very crowded and very volatile place to build an empire, which is exactly what I'm going for. Victory conditions. I should explain my reasoning behind this. I should say again, but oh well. Research victory, well, you pretty much research one tree to the extent as far as it'll go, and then you win. And I don't think that'll work for an LP. I mean, that'll be me pressing the turn key all over again. Click, click, click. Ooh, I'm gonna take another turn. Click, and I'm gonna take another turn. Click, and at the end of it, I win. Go figure. Boring. Not gonna do that. Alliances. You make friends with everybody. Just a nice little handshake with all the other races in the universe that will go with that. Will actually allow that, because most of the races not that diplomatic. But you know, it's in there. I might go for an alliance. I probably won't go for an alliance because I don't plan on playing a diplomatically strong race. Hint, hint. And influence, though, yeah, that's gonna stay in. You never know. It might actually proc and well. Then I'll win with the influence route. Influence means you have to own 75% of the galaxy, and by owning the galaxy, that doesn't really require you to have actually 75% of the planets or anything like that. No. 75% of the galaxy has to fall under your influence, which is meaningless to you if you don't know anything about this game. But I'll touch up on that later. Allowing surrenders, I like the dynamic. Some people don't. I do, and it's going to stay on. This basically means that a CPU player will simply just give up and surrender to you, or me, I should say, and or another CPU player. This stuff, yeah, I'm just not going to explain that. Sorry, I should maybe do that, but nah. So who am I going to play? I'm going to play the Thalans. Yeah, the alien of alien races. No kidding. Ever since the first LP, I've been exploring this game a bit more, and well, the Thalans are just plain weird, and they're also pretty difficult to play. And in a good way, they have some very good strengths, and they also got some really nasty penalties. The Thalans, which I played through with the first time, and then also a very enjoyable race. Well, they got good all-round absolutely everything. They don't have any hideous penalties or hideous bonuses. They are very good at diplomacy, though, and that just rocks. Diplomacy in this game is so incredibly well done. They spend so much time getting it just right, and it's a very powerful way of getting new technology. The Thalans, it's just not gonna happen. Well, you can of course trade, and I will trade with other races with some tech, but you will not be getting the amazing deals, you know, with which the Terran Alliance would give you. So yeah, let's have a look and reset. Alright, I'm just gonna start building this up from the start. Now, these are the native, the built-in penalties and bonuses of the Thalans. Population growth, -30, but we get a tech which increases it by 15, so it's in effect it's a 15% penalty. That's a lot. Some races start with a plus on this. Some races start with nothing on this. Thalans, nope. Breeding isn't their thing apparently, even though they're an insectoid race, which in most LPs means that, well, they breed like crazy. The Thalans are a bit different though. And by LP I mean 4X game, by the way. The Thalans, how are they different? Well, they're not drones. They are individuals, but they just look like insects. Insectoid doesn't necessarily mean that they're like ants or termites. They look like insects. They don't necessarily act like them. Nevertheless, I am going to use their insectoid appearance to justify some of my choices. Creativity isn't one of those things I'm going to defend. I just like creativity. It's 1 point, it's very cheap. Thalans don't have that many points to begin with, just 8. And creativity allows you to just finish your research. Whichever research you're doing, you instantly finish it. It's a proc chance really, and it's nice when you finish a 20-week or more research project in 1 turn. It can happen on the first turn of that research project. It can happen on the last turn. You never know. Next, economics. Master. Why? Money. Money is everything. And the Thalans don't have any particular real good way of making money. They start at neutral in their economy, and with other research bonuses this gets a bit higher, but not that high. The Thalans do not have an advanced economy tree. They're not bad, don't get me wrong, but it's not really awesome. Or really, yeah. Morale, naturally joyous. They're insects. Of course they love each other. Nah, see, that's my justification for that. But the truth of the matter is that with picking up these things, you pretty much negate some shortcomings. Their economy is slow to build up because of their population growth. But when it's there with this, I'll be able to tax higher from the start with an extra morale bonus. So that'll make me more money. And with the plus 30, eventually that'll make me a lot of money. And taxation is the way I'm gonna go with these guys. They're very good at influence. And influence is gonna play a part of my strategy, but not specifically. Some Thalan players prefer a tactic called the pink blob of death tactic, which really requires you to just go completely influence nuts. You pick influence, you go commercial giant, and political, you go with pacifist. And this will give you a 50% influence just from all your bonuses. After that, you research 2 techs and you get another plus 20 for each of those techs. So in all, 90%, and then you start building embassies. So your influence pretty much stretches all over the place, makes you a lot of money from tourism. The downside to that, most races don't appreciate you nicking their territory, and we'll make that very clear to you. Alright, so I'm gonna pick these abilities then, and now we'll continue. I'm gonna go with Technologist. This will give me 20% research and sensor bonus. Don't diss sensors. Sensors are awesome. Sure, you can tell if a planet, or a star I should say, has some habitable planets, but actually knowing where those planets are and if they're even colonizable at the start, because you know, those nasty toxic planets and stuff like that, yeah, definitely worth it. I'd actually pick it if it wasn't so expensive. So sensor ability is expensive. 1.2 point. No, it's not that expensive. It's just that one is fine. Appearance then. Well, I like the Thalan appearance. You know, the purple and green. It's just weird, and it also matches their logo and their whole. You know, you can set the interface to anything you want, but look at that. I like the standard interface of these guys. Okay. 9 opponents randomly picked on crippling difficulty. Just to show you guys, that's cakewalk. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8th difficulty level. That's 3 up and you're on suicidal. That's the highest. This means the AI, especially, is much more aggressive towards you, and they're gonna colonize more aggressively. They're gonna look all over the map for colony. Oh, goodness me! But it's fun. It's challenging, and I like a challenging game. So without further ado, let's get to it. I'll see you guys in space, and off we go. Okay, welcome in space, and off we go. Now, I've got a very good starting position here, and started with a plus 300 bonus. First thing I'm gonna do here is buy the Hyperion Matrix. Now, some people would argue that you shouldn't put this on Thala, because Thala's population now has a maximum of 24 billion Thalans. That's a very high amount, and it's very difficult to keep everybody very happy. Fortunately, that's where the temporal entertainment comes in, but that will not be enough. Not nearly. I'm also going to put the economic direction unit here and the orbital command center. Thala is going to be an economic planet and research world now. I'm going to build a colony ship here, and my space miner is going to go there. I want to make sure this is all yeah, that's 3 of them. That's not bad. That's actually really good. Right, now where to send my colony ship? I've got some very nosy neighbors. The Taurians are usually very, very aggressive and quite militaristic. These guys look like the Korath. Despite being the most evil bastards, lore-wise they're actually pretty weak. Interestingly, I've seen them become the most economically viable race ever. I'm also very happy with this. A morale research will help me boost the taxation of my empire by quite a bit. Now, what we ideally want is to have a colony ship out as fast as possible. Now, to do that, I'm going to set social to 0, because all in all, I don't need to build anything. Thalans don't start with any buildings in particular which you can spam, like I mentioned. So, or didn't mention, I should have mentioned perhaps. So we're going to set this up in a way that I'm going to get a colony ship every 3 weeks. Now that's good enough for the moment, and we're going to lower taxes so that my approval rate is actually 100%. This is necessary because Thala is going to suffer. You know, there's a lot of people going to be nicked off this planet. I've been strangely fortunate because usually I like it when there's a production bonus on Thala, and most of the time there is. But having a research bonus, well, it's nothing to laugh at, really. It's pretty good. As for which research tech I'm gonna research, alright, there's a few options, and the tech tree here is very strange. You can start out by going for xenoethics, no problem, and I could do that. A creativity proc would instantly get me xenoethics. Most, actually other races would have to go into the tech tree a bit further. Now, what I want is this. Xenoanthropology. That is a very powerful tech. Influence plus 20 instantly increases your tourism income. Morale plus 10 instantly increases your ability to tax. And after that, trade. Trade's not really particularly good for the Thalans, but it's really good at the beginning, no denying that. Remedial engineering, plus 5 to research, definitely on the to-do list. So is this. Getting military production up by 20%? Yeah, I'd like that. Actually, I might actually go for that. But it's probably going to be a very expensive tech, and by the time I actually get it, decolonization phase is probably over. What else? The usual. Ion drive. Sure, I could go for this, but again, by the time I get speed 10, probably way too much behind the curve. But in this case, it's definitely an option. Morale plus 15. That's pretty good, actually. Morale is not that important yet. This could be an interesting choice in this as well. It's really all about how you start and what you start out with. Maximum, the lowest amount of time you can have for colony ship is 2 weeks. I checked. There's really no easy way. There's really no way of going over that. I could also go for a colony ship Mark II. It's got less range, but still not bad. It's a bit faster as well. I know I'm taking a very long time to decide what to do on my first turn, but make no mistake, this is crucial. Every mistake I make now is gonna make things harder later. Missing out on planets because you messed up? Oh boy, yeah, that's bad. Okay, I'm not gonna go for xenoethics. I'm just gonna see if I can actually finish this in time. No. I'm gonna go for xeno communication and no. Let's see. I might actually be able to finish this within the proper amount of time, and I'll be able to build a new type of colony ship after that. So at least 3 colony ships are going to be built with the old tech. As to where we go, that's another question altogether. Alright. It's usually best to head straight for your opponents. At least that's my opinion. That way you can actually grab planets from them. So I'm gonna send my colony ship over there. My flagship I'm gonna send. Oh dear, yeah. There. I'm gonna check out my neighboring planets first. Leto has no inhabitable planets. Alright, that's easy. So after Leto, go to this one. This one's going off blind, and 3 weeks. Buying it is an option, but not a very good one. I'm gonna need my savings, and colony ships are just very expensive nowadays. In Dreadlords, you start off with 5,000, so that makes it, well, easier to buy 1 or 2 colony ships. Yeah, okay, what have we got here? 1 habitable, that's this one, which I can't actually grab. It's heavy gravity. To my knowledge, there's not... Oh, I'm not completely sure, but I am kinda sure. Maybe the Iconians start out with this. Nothing I can do about that. Let's check out this system. 2 weeks. Next. Alright. Okay. Uncover the star, and we have our second colony ship, which I have no destination for. Or do I? I do. Oh, I sure as hell do. Okay. So, for now, I definitely don't want to send it off into the asteroid field. Asteroid fields will slow down any ship, and it's critical not to have that. This asteroid field is actually in a pretty bad spot. So next I'm going to send it to Unukalhai 3. Goodness me, I'm going to mess up that name a lot. Prepare for that. Alright. In the meanwhile, I'm going to send this my scout ship here, and perhaps it'll actually discover something. And then the next colony ship will go there. This is a blue star, so usually they don't have any planets. That's expected. Right, next system. Ah, that's the Arsenians, which we can't talk to. Wow, they flew all the way over here. They're not messing around. Also means I probably saw these planets. I certainly hope they're not going to go for them. I usually end up missing out on planets no matter what I try and do. It's one of my failures. Right. Next week we'll have another colony ship. It would be so nice if this had a habitable planet, but it does not. And this looks habitable, but it's actually a ball of gas. So that means we're gonna go to this system, and it also means excellent. 1 week. Okay. This might seem strange, but 1 week. There we go. This way, by setting this a little different now, I'll still get my colony ship, but I am getting more research points into Ion Drive, which actually increased it to, to 2. We decreased it to 2 weeks, and I'm still going to get this in 1 week, so all good. And that's the Korath, evil bastards. Dastardly, evil, nasty, cruel jerks. Okay, how am I doing it game time wise? Yeah, I think I'd better wrap it up. So, alright. Here, well, this is our little space empire so far. Let's hope it grows. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys for the next one.